Hi. So in this lesson, we're going to be working with some other parts of the circle. The first one is the secant. The secant is a line that intersects a circle at 2 points. So a line that crosses through the circle is a secant, right? I also have special measurements, right? The measure of an angle formed by two lines that intersect inside a circle. So two secants that intersect inside the circle is half the sum of the measure of the intercepted arcs. So that means that this angle right here equals half of x plus y. So I have this when I want to find x right there. So x equals 1/2 of 88 plus 86. So that means that this equal to 87 degrees. So in this one again, I want to find this angle, right? So first of all, I'm going to find this one. Let's call it A. Let's call it first 1. So the measure of angle 1 equals 1/2 of 48 plus 38. So that means that this angle is 43 degrees, right? So now angle 2, that is the one that we want to find, is 180 minus 43. So it's 137 degrees. Now what happens if the angle is formed outside of the line? So there are two lines that intersect a circle, or a tangent and a secant, or two tangents that intersect outside of the circle, right? Outside of the circle. So instead of being 1/2 of the addition, now as you can see is 1/2 of the subtraction, right? Because that one is smaller than whatever it was forming inside here. So this is 1/2 of x minus y, x minus y, x minus y, 1/2 of that. So there's a couple of exercises. So on this one, I have that this small arc right here, this small arc right there is 6, right? So I know that that angle is also 90, right? So that means that I have that 90 equals 1/2 of x minus 6. So if I multiply times 2 on both sides, times 2 times 2, because also 180 equals x minus 6 plus 6 plus 6. That means that x equals 186 degrees. Next one, right? So I know that this arc over here is 140. So that means that this right here, this other part of the circle, including the x, is 220, right? So from here to this point, so from this point to that one, let me mark it in blue so you can see it, is x, right? So that means that this side over here is going to be 220 minus x, right? Again, this whole segment, this whole arc right here is 220, right? Because I already have 140 over here. So that means that this, from this point to this one, so from here to that one, is 220 minus x, right? So again, 1/2. So 38 equals 1/2 of 220 minus x again, right? So this one is from that x is from this x, right? So now I'm solving. So 38, I'm going to multiply times 2 on both sides. So 76 equals 220 minus 2x. So minus 220. So this is 144. Negative 144 equals negative 2x. And now I'm just divided by negative 2. So x equals to 72 degrees. Now again, this side over here, this side right here, that arc over here is 360 minus x. 360 minus x. So I have that 60 equals 1/2 of 360 minus x minus x. So I'm going to multiply times 2. So 120 equals 360 minus 2x. Again, this other x, this x comes from 360 minus x. This other x over here comes from that one, right? So minus 360, I have 240 negative equal negative 2x. And now I'm just going to divide by negative 2. So that means that x equals 120 degrees. And this one, x equals 1/2 of 150 minus 60. So x equals 1/2 of 90. So x equals 45 degrees. Again, x equals 1/2 of 90 minus 20. So x equals 1/2 of 70. So x equals 35 degrees. As I said, there's a circular cabinet in the dining room. Looking in from another room at a point A, you estimate that you can see an arc of the cabinet of about 100. What is the measure of angle A, right? So this side over here, it has to be 260, right? Because if that other part, if this part is 100, that means that the other arc has to be 260, right? So the measure of angle A equals 1/2 of 260 minus 100. So it's 1/2 160. So that means that angle A measures 80 degrees. Now, let's work with now the segments, right? If two chords intersect inside of the segment, then the product of the pieces that they form, they're equal to each other. So if I multiply A times B, that's equal to C times D, right? If I have two secants or two secant segments, right, that intersect this and intersecting a point outside, so if I add the whole segment, right, it's W plus X times W equals Y times plus Z times Y. So it's the measure of the whole segment times the piece that is outside, right? And if I have a segment that is tangent to and a secant segment, right, I have that this one, again, is C plus Y, so it's the whole segment times Y equals D squared, plus D squared. See a couple of x's, right? So now I want to find this little piece right here, that little piece right here. So again, it's 2, that is this outside part, times the sum of the segment. So the whole segment right there, so it's 11, equals to this one square because it's a tangent. Right, so I have 22 equals y squared. And now I'm going to take the square root on both sides. So y equals 4.7 units. Right, so the next one again, whole segment is 12. And this one entire segment is C plus 12. So it's the outside part times the sum of the segment, C plus 12, equals 4 times 12. Right, so C squared plus 12C equals 48. So C squared plus 12Z minus 48 equals 0. Right? In this case, this one we were going to name the quadratic formula, right? So B squared minus 4AC over 2A, right? Where A is 1, B is 12, C is negative 48. So X equals the opposite of B plus or minus B squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 48 divided by 2 times 1. So X equals to negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 144 plus 192 divided by 2. So X equals negative 12 plus the square root 336 divided by 2. As you can see, I'm not using any more than negative for sign, right? Because I know if I have negative 12 minus that square root, it doesn't matter how big or large or small that one is, it's going to be a negative number. Right? and z has to be a positive number. So I have that. So once I find this in my calculator, I have that z equals 3.2, right? I should have to choose right here c instead of x. So z, and z. And when I find the diameter here, right? So first of all, for finding that, I need to find this one piece right here, right? So let's name that x, right? Now, because this line, the diameter is perpendicular to that chord, that means that it divides us in half. So this one is 4, right? So again, I have 4 times 4 equals x times 3, right? So 16 equals 3x, and I'm going to divide by 3, right? So x equals 5.3, but I want to find the diameter, right? So then it's 5.3 plus 3 equals 8.3 units. And that's it for this lesson. May the force be with you.